Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yusdami Ashraf binti Effendi. First, I want to thank Dr. Zulhairi for giving me this opportunity to present. And let's talk about the determination of heavy metal ions by using AAS. So first, I will introduce my group members, Aidatu, Shasha, and Hafsah. We go into the introduction of this AAS. First, the food industry must produce safe, high quality and nutritious food for people worldwide. Many people doesn't know what they eat or what they consume inside the food. And second, scientific methods are important at every stage to follow regulations and protect health. We use atomic absorption spectroscopy AAS to detect heavy metals and minerals in food. So this will help people to know what they are consuming inside their food. Third, AAS use chemistry principles to ensure food is safe and accurately labeled. This boosts consumer trust and helps the industry maintain high standards. So people do not worry about what they consume, what ingredient they are going to take. So sometimes heavy metals can damage our body from time to time. So using this AAS will help people to ensure a good life. I will send the next presentation to Aida too.
Thank you, Yusdamia. So my name is Aida. I will explain about how AAS detect and measure metal elements in food. First of all, the sample preparation. The food sample is degassed using a strong acid. So for the next atomization, the liquid sample is introduced into a flame or a graphite furnace. So for the light absorption, a special lens emits light at a specific wavelength. So for the detection, the detector measures how much light is absorbed. So lastly, we will compare the result with a calibration graph to find out how much metal present in food sample. So we go to our next slide. AAS ensure food is free from toxic heavy metals. So I will introduce to you the example of heavy metals. First, lead, cadmium, mercury, and arsenic. So this food can contain harmful metals due to the factory wastewater, contaminated soil, and unsafe food packaging. So next slide. Heavy metals can cause diseases. For example, is kidney damage, cancer risk, and children with developmental problem. So I will pass the presenter to my friends.
Thank you, Aida. Next, I will present about the application. First, it provides the foundation for atomic absorption spectroscopy (AAS). This method is used to find and measure metals and minerals in food. This helps us see if there are any harmful metals like lead, and also check for important nutrients like iron or zinc. The second one is to help to understand the complex composition of food. This helps us to prepare the food sample for testing. It breaks down the food to release metals ion so we can taste the food properly. This ensures that we get an accurate result and make sure that we are testing the food in the right way. Next slide, please. The third one is to ensure accurate and reliable measurement. Accurate measurement is the backbone of food safety and nutritional quality. This technique helps us verify the nutritional content listed on food packaging, ensuring that what's stated matches on what's actually in the product. So it is important for food company to follow the rules. It helps build consumer trust on what they are eating. Next, I will pass to Shasha.
Thank you, Hafsa. I'm Shasha and I'm going to present the next slide.
This is the experiment method. First, bacterial strains. To study chemical changes in real-world context, we use 6 strains of Listeria monocytogenes. This came from both clinical and food sources and represented various serotypes. Each strain had resistance to rifampicin, so we could track them easily during experiments. Next is culture conditions. We first culture bacterial strains in cryptic soy broth. Then we wash and resuspended them in Butterfield's phosphate buffer that gave us starting concentration. Next, vegetable preparation. We use blanched individually quick frozen vegetable like green beans, corns, carrots, and peas. These were spot inoculated with 100 microliter of one bacterial strain and stored at negative 18 degrees Celsius for 7 days. Post-freeze handling. After 7 days, samples were thawed and stored at 5 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius for up to 14 days and 25 degrees Celsius for up to 7 days. For the data analysis, Barani and Roberts growth model were used and performed statistical analysis including ANOVA and ANCOVA with the KISS test. We also used the Ratoksky model to understand how temperature influences growth rate. Next slide. Results and discussion. For the frozen storage, cool accumulation might have helped the bacteria to grow faster. And for the 5 degrees Celsius post-thaw, all strains survive and even 5 of them grew, but one of them didn't grow at all, which is strain JKS1. Next slide. Conclusion. To sum up, storing them at 5 degrees Celsius or higher can increase the food safety risk. To stay safe, always keep veggies cool and cook them before eating. The growth models we develop can help guide future food safety strategies. That's all from me. Thank you.